Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to today's Smackdown review and opinions video. Let's start by going through the match scores. So Bayley against B-Fab against Candice. This is in the United States tournament to find the winner of that first women's mid-card title. I thought this was pretty good. I thought B-Fab had a really good showing. You lot scored it good 96%. I think that's fair. Bayley obviously getting the win, which a bit predictable, but I did think Candice had a chance. B-Fab looked good here. That moment where she jumped to the side and then threw in like a right hand, I really feel like that could be a signature move for her. Like boom, boom, look really good. So yeah, great showing for her. Then of course we had the LA Knight Open Challenge. This was answered by Berto. He looked pretty good in his match as well. And I was pleased it was Berto and not Santos Escobar because we've seen that. So Berto getting an opportunity to show what he can do, just like how B-Fab had an opportunity to show what she could do in the first match. You lot scored it good 97%, so very, very similar. Then, of course, we had Nakamura attacking after. He looked really cool. A lot of people saying he looks like a Sith Lord. It's just great to have him back. I would love for him to get some wins, get some momentum, give him a good 2025, you know? I would really like that. I would even be tempted to give him a win over John Cena next year. I think that would actually help Shinsuke. If you have John Cena having a good year next year, like picking up wins, looking good, and then he goes up against Shinsuke and loses, that could mean something. In 2025, beating John Cena could mean something. It doesn't really feel like it means much at the moment because John's lost a lot of matches, but if we give him some wins and he's looking good in his matches, and then Shinsuke beats him, like, we could actually help Shinsuke out. I mean, you know, a lot of people might say, that sounds good, but it shouldn't be Shinsuke. It should be, I don't know, Grayson Waller or someone else, you know? But I really like Shinsuke. I still think that there is time to really do something with him. Then, of course, we had the Bloodline segment with Bronson Reed. I can't really say much on this because it got spoiled for me with the TV tapings of Raw. And so, yeah, you know, it's fine. I personally would have preferred 4-on-4 and just kept it family. I feel like this Bloodline story is about family, and I don't get why we've brought Bronson Reed in. Like, to me, we are adding an element that's just not needed. But I, as I said, had this spoiled the other day, so I've had time to kind of get used to it. And so if we've got to add someone, I'm all right with it being Bronson Reed. So not my preference, but not something that I'm feeling like really down on. Something I am feeling down on, and I wish I didn't, and it's probably going to upset a few people, but I've just got to be honest, haven't I? I really don't like Motor City Machine Guns. I know that they are a highly regarded team. I can see that they can do some really good tag team work in the ring, but I have no feelings towards them, apart from frustration and anger, because they've come in and they've won those tag titles so quickly that I'm looking at teams that have been putting work in, like the Street Profits, that haven't just had it so easy. I mean, Motor City Machine Guns came in, they won a match, qualified into, you know, a title match, and then thanks to outside interference, they won the titles. And now again, outside interference means they're keeping those titles. So we've got these baby faces that we're meant to be rooting for, that we don't know anything about, that are only champions and only keeping those titles because there's always outside interference. So it doesn't make them look good. It doesn't make them feel like rightful champions. The booking of this is so strange. Like, I feel like we could have done a lot to make them more over, like, put them in with heels as well. Where's all the heel tag teams for them to, you know, where's all the heel tag teams that we hate so that Motor City Machine Guns can come in and, like, take them down a peg or two? Instead, you're putting them in there with Street Profits, who I feel really sorry for, who I don't think have had the kind of opportunity that they should have had in recent times. And, you know, Tommaso Ciampa's really frustrated. and he got involved, obviously. And I kind of find myself agreeing with Tommaso. I find myself agreeing with him. Like, yeah, I feel that frustration that this new team has come in and we've just given them the belts and they get to keep the belts. And it's always because of outside interference and not something they've actually done in the match. So I agree with Tommaso. And Johnny coming down, being like, trying to play peacekeeper, like, yeah, I totally see why Tommaso's getting frustrated here. So we're teasing drama in DIY, we're teasing drama in Street Profits. The only team that look like they're going to stay together is Motor City Machine Guns. That's probably why they've got the belts. So, yeah, you lot scored this good 90%. I think it was the lowest rated match on of the four. Was Street Profits against Motor City Machine Guns. Then we had Naomi against Nia Jax main event. This scored great 64%, and actually I thought the end was really good. I thought the way they booked it, lots of outside interference, of course, but, you know, Tiffy coming down, Bayley coming down, Candice getting involved. Like, there was a moment where it really felt like Naomi stood a chance. Really felt like she might get the job done, and actually the crowd were really behind it. And then, of course, it just fell away. And then, obviously, the Roman thing at the end. And I've already spoke about that in Unseen, where people are pointing out that Paul Heyman had his phone broken. So perhaps that's why Roman can't get him. It's just Roman doesn't know. And as I still stand by what I said in Unseen, I think that's a bit disappointing if that's the story. Because right now, we're kind of, oh my God, is he with CM Punk? Oh my God, is he going to come back with Brock? Oh my God, are they going to put him with Obafemi? Like, we've got all these thoughts, all these interesting, like, scenarios. And then it turns out he's just got a new phone. And so that's why we can't get it. So, do you know what I mean? Like, that for me is like, oh, yeah, that's not really what I'm looking for. We've kind of teased something a lot more impressive than that. So, but we have to mention that because that is what might be happening. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. So, all in all, and I said this during the watch-along, I always look for talking points. And this definitely had plenty of talking points. I think one of the biggest ones was Big Bronson Reed, and that unfortunately was spoiled. Shinsuke coming back was a lovely surprise. And the Roman thing at the end was really good. I feel like this show was really solid, and I'm probably about a 7.5. I don't think I get into the 8s. If Bronson hadn't been ruined, maybe I'd get into the 8s. But I feel like 7.5 is fair. Certainly when you consider that 3 of the 4 matches only got a good rating from you guys. So that's definitely an area that could have been improved. So with that being said, let's go down and see what you lot scored the show. So obviously we haven't had loads of responses because we did the watch along for Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Then when that finished, I worked on Unseen. Unseen took a little bit of time to kind of get everything together, and then it took ages to upload. Then I've been doing a few reaction clips. So by the time we actually asked for feedback, it was quite late. So little bit kind of crazy this week, but hopefully people understand why. So Amk Zaku said it was a solid 8 out of 10. LA Knight was fantastic, yeah. However, the highlight of the show was the return of the king of strong style himself, Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm looking forward to the rivalry between these two. I agree, Shinsuke being back is awesome. Shaquem said a whole lot of talking points. Tommaso did the right thing. He wants to win gold. I mean, Goldie back, so you got to do anything to get back. The end of the show is the best part, calling Paul Heyman, and he had Roman blocked. I gave the show 7 out of 10. I couldn't quite tell if he was blocked or if he just couldn't get through, or kind of, I don't really know what that message was telling us other than Roman couldn't get to him. We know that Paul, it wasn't like it was ringing and Paul kind of cut the call off. It just wasn't going through. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure that it was blocked or if the number was discontinued or kind of whatever it was. But as we said, that leading theory at the moment is to do with the fact that Paul's phone got destroyed by Solo when Jimmy was attacked. TJF said, I called it from your stream that Bronson and Seth would be the 5th members. Also, the best segment of the night, Roman ghosted Heyman, got a new Heyman guy. His nobody, Roman, Heyman is levels above you. So you're thinking that Heyman has moved on to either Brock or CM Punk. That would certainly be more exciting than the phone theory. Mitchell said, I thought it was a very solid show and pretty well paced. Love the Shinsuke is back. Main event women's match I thought was very good. And the Bloodline stuff is super intriguing. I'll go 7.5 range. Wasn't on board with Bayley winning or the end of the tag match. Jang Tae-sang said it was good, Daze. The OG Bloodline segments were goated, really. Thought Seth was going to come out. So much suspense at the end. Cody's promo was fire. Naomi versus Nia was definitely match of the night. Can't wait for next week. 875. Angie said it was so good with the announcement about Kevin Owens being in Salt Lake City next week and the cliffhanger with Roman trying to cause the Wiseman. And on top of all that, in-ring was decent. Can't wait for next week. 8 out of 10, said Angie. Howdy said, I'm liking it more and more. It's catching up to Raw fast if it's not there already. Did not expect Bronson Reed to join Solo, but that means that Seth might join Roman. Let's see what happens. I am so much more excited for Survivor Series now than I was 2 days ago. This is great. OTC said it was good. The ending of SmackDown was like a movie ending credit scene. It was a cliffhanger type, creating more hype for next week's show. I got emotional and happy when I saw OG Bloodline wearing the same merch and doing the entrance together. Overall, 7.5. Wrestling fans since day one said SmackDown was good, 7 out of 10. My prediction for the OG Bloodline, they will either get Seth or Strowman as the 5th man for War Games to take care of Bronson. Yeet. The other thing that was just mentioned there was about SmackDown catching up with Raw. No doubt in my mind this was the best show of the 3 this week by a mile. I think I gave Raw like 5.5 and I think I gave NXT about the same. I think I said NXT was better than Raw this week, but for me it wasn't by much. But SmackDown beats them both by a mile. This was easily the best show. Samantha said, I enjoyed it. I'm giving it 8 out of 10. LA Knight was my favourite part. JT and S. Can I just say, by the way, you don't need to tag that. That's just my account that I use to post live streams. The thing is that I've had a few, this is like my 3rd or 4th Twitter account, and they've been taken down in the past because whenever I share links to live streams, sometimes people think it's a link to the actual show. And so I need to put my links to live streams on a different Twitter account. Can't afford to put it on the Wrestling Daze one because if that account gets taken down, okay, I'll just set up a new one. So you don't need to like follow this live account, right? You don't need to follow it, or you don't need to engage with it or do anything with it. It's literally so I can put my live stream links up and then I retweet them onto the Wrestling Daze account, just so people know. JT, I don't want people tagging that and sending messages and then wondering why I'm not replying. You know, that's the one I use. OML, Oh My Life. This was a great SmackDown. From outside social media posts to Bloodline twists to all the excitement of UFC and the Mike Tyson match. Today was a great day. I enjoyed my Friday night. 8 out of 10 for SmackDown. 10 out of 10 for social media. 8 out of 10 UFC. Haven't even had it yet. That's tomorrow. Very excited for what's next. I'm guessing you mean 8 out of 10 for the Tyson event. Carl said, week yet? What's this? What's this? It was good and best show of the week this week. Still some ridiculous and confusing creative decisions like Raw. I love Bayley, but why is she winning when the US title is about giving underappreciated people a push? People like Chelsea, Naomi, including Candice, and B-Fab. WTF has Bronson got to do with the Bloodline? Ruined a perfect 4v4 match, and the family story just to add randoms. It's also obvious as hell that Seth's going to be number 5 on Team Roman now. Great to finally see Shinsuke back on TV, give him the US title, and Chelsea the women's one whilst we're here. The main event and all the chaos was awesome. Awesome! Jim Taylor said it was a good show, really liking Tommaso Ciampa's slow heel turn, and it was good to see Shinsuke back. Bloodline stuff was same old until Bronson turned up, and the closing segment was cinematic. Solid 7 for me. Bring back the Paulrus. The Paulrus. I do like it. Look at that. The Paulrus. Callum said, I really enjoyed tonight's show. I enjoyed the first match. The Bloodline stuff was great. Love seeing Shinsuke back, but sadly I already know what happens now with Nia, Tiffany, Jade, Bianca, Liv because of spoilers, but the ending was fire. 8.5. Callum, shout out to you. John said, SmackDown along with the social media post and the Bloodline edition. Could we see Braun return or will Seth jump on boards? I wonder if they go Strowman and later we get Wyatt's helping the new Bloodline attack on him. Will Alexa return? And what was Cross warning us about the 6th, says John. Well, a lot of that we covered in Unseen, of course. So there's a few things going on here. We're talking about SmackDown. We're talking about stuff that was on social media. The social media stuff is in Unseen. The SmackDown stuff, well, it's so hard to have these conversations because we do know where some of this is going, but it's just, we got to wait for Monday to kind of just get it out there and then we can, you know, take it from there, really. So I would just say, let's get Monday out the way first. Some of this stuff we just can't talk about because, as we said, we know where it's going because of spoilers. Nixter said lots of talking points from Roman calling Paul Heyman, Bronson being the 5th member, Bloodline brawl, Tommaso Ciampa slowly turning heel, Naomi almost winning the title, full of storyline progression. It was solid 8.5 for me. John Elite said, glad to see Blackheart Ciampa back. Street Profits heel turn ? Awesome to see Shinsuke back with a new look. Is Bronson number 5 for Solo's Bloodline? I would think so. Love the Heyman tease at the end. Maybe he's changed his number. And then Sammy is betraying Roman. Did you notice? Sammy, well, I can't play it because it's on USA Network. I don't think he's going to betray him. Shall we try and see what it is? What is it we're looking at? Steps forwards. What did he do? So he goes in his pocket, pulls something out, puts it in his other pocket, like a phone. Yeah. How's that? I don't understand. So he took his phone out of his one pocket, he put it in his other pocket. How's that betraying Roman? I'm confused by that. I'm confused. Something to think about, innit? Something to think about. Well, there we go. It says probable spam, but I don't know. It was interesting. I just don't know what it means. I don't know that it's... I mean, in all fairness, they are asking a question. It's not a statement. They are saying, is he betraying Roman? Something to mull over there. So, right, awesome. Thanks a lot for watching. I don't actually have the scores set up, unfortunately. So we don't know kind of how the wider community scored this. If you want to find that out, go to Wrestling Daze Opinions, click on posts. You'll see all the polls. And to be honest, there's probably not been that many responses yet. So, yeah, we'll we'll try and have a look at it on Monday when we get to Raw, and we will have had a few responses by then. So, but it seems like people really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed it as well. So, thanks for watching. Bye for now.